To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
We'll get back into the college football discussion in a little bit. I wanted to bring up a Tiger thing here, and we've talked about this. Look, when it comes to the trade deadline with the Tigers, I don't want to take a settle for less approach. Now, I also don't want to do anything stupid, but I love reading stuff like this. And whether it happens or not, but if I'm reading this, it means they're approaching it like I want. Okay? Now, we're going to have a conversation. We'll see if people agree with this. But according to Bob Nightingale, the Tigers have shown strong interest in a duo of relievers. Oh, this is good. And it's, in my mind, two of the very best that are available. I would like to take Aroldis Chapman off the board. The Red Sox are on fire.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. It's a pair of twins relievers. In Joan Duran and Griffin Jax. Now, they're not alone. Here are the other teams. And this is exactly what Rico and I talk about, and I know when the Motor City Kitty Brigade pops out, we don't need anything. We're just the bestest. This is what you're going to run into. Phillies, Cubs, and Dodgers are interested, too.
Who?
Weird.
The Dodgers, but Mike, they got that payroll.
Now, let me give you just a profile on each guy, and then I'm going to ask a question. So Griffin Jax is really interesting. So one, he's a massive swing and miss guy. He's got almost 70 strikeouts in 40 innings, 14.4 Ks per nine. This is a strikeout guy, elite setup guy, not your closer. ERA is a little elevated, but the underlying metrics, without boring you and allowing Rico to make fun of me, suggest he's been very unlucky. Okay. His ERA should be more in line with something like a 1.85.
So playing on a bad team.
Yeah, not a 3 ERA, but like a 1.8.
Yeah.
But he is.
We can make that adjustment, team adjustment. Okay.
Dude's a hammer. And the best part, he's signed through 2027. You get him this year, you get him next year, you get him the year after.
I'm going to put a pin on that. Okay.
Joan Duran, it's a much shorter scouting report. Top 5 closer, end, period.
He just kills people.
He murders people.
Okay.
Also signed through 2027. Now.
So Duran is your flat-out closer. You move Vest if you get Duran.
Yes and no. Minnesota has used him in a high-leverage way in years past, pitching him when needed. Look.
So real quick, I'm going to let you finish. So is this one where AJ would have 2 extra pieces to kind of move around and manipulate if you got them both?
Yeah, and look, you're not getting both. To get both.
Either.
Yes, if you get one of them, that's all this is. Okay. AJ, here's a nuclear warhead. Detonate when you want. Here's my question to Tiger fan Rico. Are you willing to pay what it takes?
And that was the pin that I put in there. Because this is one where, well, how about we just give up this? You're going to have to give up something in order to get this.
Right. I'll give you the dead body of Delman Young, and you're like, or Dimitri Young, and you're like,
have
no.
them both.
Yeah, no.
What about, and we'll give you Prince Fielder's rights,
Here's
too.
Chris Shelton. So, no, it is a divisional rival.
Right, Akil Baddoo ain't getting this done.
And they're going to surcharge you. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get it done. My question is, if I can add this level of reliever that has term that not only links up with the Scooble window, but further, I'm absolutely willing to pay more. These guys have proven track record. These guys are what they are. And I'm telling you, you put one of these guys in your pen, you become a different ball club. But I know your answer, and you know my answer.
You're going to be in the bidding war with, some
Phillies,
other
Cubs,
teams.
Dodgers.
And it's going to cost you. And it's going to cost you probably some prospect that you've already fallen in love with who's yet to play in the major leagues.
If I'm getting an elite reliever in today's world, the only two prospects that would not be a part of this conversation would be Clark and McGonigal. You're just not dealing that level of prospect.
And I was about to say, for Duran, would you give up one of those?
No, because it on a value proposition, it doesn't make sense. When you start taking a guy that's going to get 600 plate appearances every day, 7 years of term, and he's just on the cusp of that ascent.
But can you balance that, Mike, with a team with one of the top records in baseball, tied for the second best odds of winning the World Series?
I'd need them both.
And this is the one thing that you need?
I'd need them both.
I would be willing to sacrifice one of those players if that was the final straw to outbid the Dodgers. Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't. You stand alone on that one, and that's fine. That's the beauty of conversation. You'd have to offer me both plus. They're relievers. But the bottom line is the Twins are going to make a big ask. Are you willing to pay the freight? Now, if you say we don't need them, we'll just take David Bednar. Okay, that's fine. Bednar could turn into a pumpkin again because he was god-awful last year. Now this year, he's good again. All right, sweet. I just traded for Mike Fetters. Like, it just, the quality, the pedigree, the performance, I'm with Rico. It's supposed to sting. But if these guys are truly available and the Twins are willing to deal and do what's best for their organization, you will have better stuff to give them than the Dodgers, than the Cubs, than the Phillies. It is about whether you think you want to do it, need to do it. You tell me.
And one of the reasons why I say I'd be willing to part with one of those guys and trust me, guys, if it was the final straw, if I'm going up against the Phillies or the Dodgers or the Cubs or the Reds, and I got to make that move because they're signed for 2027, and I'm still operating as I got a 2-year window with Skubal to figure it out because I do believe he's going to leave. And once he leaves, I don't know what this team is going to be. So therefore, I'm going to go with the devil that I know and really make a push for 2 years.
Guys, what do you want to do? Bob Nightingale reporting, you have shown heavy interest in these guys. Interest and offers are two different things. Offers and conversation, yeah, they begin now. It takes a few weeks sometimes. There will be a bidding war. Do you want to go to this level? This is the highest level of acquisition. Truthfully, this is way better than Brandon Finnegan. Aroldis Chapman's probably not getting moved. Sox are on fire. You start looking around. Now, you can get relievers. I'm not saying you can't get them, and you can get good ones. These are great ones. These are World Series. You got to go out, and you got first and third, one out, and you've got a lefty-righty split, and it's the 8th inning. I can bring a Griffin Jackson, and I can get out of that. I can strike the first guy out and get a roller to second on the second, and I'm not giving up a run. These guys are excellent. I'm paying the freight. I'm just not going as far as Rico is. But I would love to hear from you guys on it. Or do you like sprinkles? 248-539-9797. Kenny, do you want to chime in on this, brother? Because, look, this is, it ain't going to be cheap. They are going to make you overpay. But I think the overpayment would be worth it if these two are actually available.
Yeah, this is a World Series move, guys. This is something that a team with World Series ambitions does. This is what look at the teams that you listed in with the Tigers as teams who would have interest in these types of players. Those are teams with real playoff aspirations. And imagine these guys in the hands of A.J. Hinch being deployed as basically just whenever he feels like he wants to press that button. What do we all say about A.J. Hinch and Chris Fetter? We trust them implicitly with these types of decisions. So these guys on this team, yeah, they're warheads right now. They would absolutely help. And I see no reason. And like you said, Mike, it's going to hurt. I have no expectations that we're going to leave that trade going, boy, I'm glad we gave them up, because we're not.
No. But again, what people, and Kenny, this is the problem. People, they get comfortable. You see it with Lion fans that every Brad Holmes pick is going to work out. It's not. Every prospect's going to work out. It's not. I mean, here, I'm living the Anthony Volpe nightmare. He was the top prospect in baseball. He was the starting shortstop of the New York Yankees at age 21. He flashed some real ability. Now he's fighting for his life. Why? He kind of stinks. Jordan Walker was supposed to be a right-handed hammer for the Cards, a 40 home run bat with titanic game power. Jordan Walker, going to be working at Home Depot soon enough. Like, guys, this is the world we live in. So I'm willing to overpay. I think getting one of these guys and adding them to your core. See, that's the key. To your core. They're here. They're yours.
And that's why I'm
Invaluable.
willing, if I have to, I would be willing to part with one. Not both, but one, because I deem this as a 2-year window that the Tigers are going to be playing this baseball this well with this division. You're having the top pitcher in baseball. You gotta push your chips all in.
248-539-9797. David, a few ticket texts. We got anybody chiming in on this, or is baseball boring to people? Would you rather talk about your favorite boat?
Mike, I think the people need to know what prospects you would give up. Someone says, I would give up thinking Ham Lorenzo for one of these guys. That is Brandon at work.
100%, yes. Anyone not named Clark McGonigal, I sit in a conference room and I have a conversation. I am not qualified to tell you what the Tigers believe of every prospect they have in the system. That would be the most arrogant thing in the world for me to go on the air and state that I don't know that.
Right. And for the record, like I said, Clark and McGonigal is when they come back and say, well, these teams countered with this.
Correct.
What are you willing to do?
Look, I'm just not going to go there because, first of all, McGonigal has the ability to be a middle infielder.
Yeah.
That positional scarcity and positional value is so high, and he might be the number one hitting prospect in baseball by the spring. I'm not dealing him. The Max Clark thing, I look, evaluations are all over the place. He might be Parker Meadows plus, meaning base running, elite defense, superstar. Major questions about his power, major questions. Now, he'll be an OBP guy. But look, I think you hold on to those two unless you are getting it would have to be a Juan Soto type trade for me to discuss that level of player, because I view it, both of those guys are going to be in my starting lineup opening day 2027. And that has value.
Right. Or you could be hoisting up a banner before 2027.
I understand. I do. Rico, you're not wrong. I just think they have enough other stuff. You don't want to be the drunken consumer. Like Kenny does this all the time.
Not drunken consumer.
He's hammered. He goes on Amazon.com. And the next thing you know, Kenny has a Statue of Liberty figurine sent to the house, and he doesn't remember ordering it. You don't want to do that at the deadline.
Okay.
Oh, I love Lady Liberty. 248
Screening calls, catching strays. I'm doing it all right now.
And David, congratulations.
No, stop. Your calls and breaking news next, because it involves the Lions. It does, and you know it.
97.
You know it.